Have you ever wanted to try out a bit of camera gear, be it a lens, a gimbal, maybe a new light, or maybe you're looking to buy a new bit of camera gear but you're not so sure and you just maybe want to use it for one shoot, you want to test it out, try it, make sure it's right for you before you make that big purchase. I've definitely done this a lot, been not sure whether or not to spend money on a specific bit of kit, a bit unsure if I'm actually going to enjoy the kit because I've never actually used it before, and then I just kind of go back and forward, and then maybe I decide to go for it and then I don't quite like the bit of gear and I'm just left a little bit disappointed. So what I actually did this weekend for this video was I actually rented a bit of gear from a local rental house. Okay, I hope you guys can see me. What I got is the Sony 90mm macro lens. And I'm going to be putting this through its paces this weekend on a shoot and just talk a little bit about this lens and some of the amazing things it can do. Hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, how you doing? We're currently in my sister's flat right now. You've probably seen the sequence in here at the start of the video, but I thought I'd shoot a little bit behind the scenes just to show you the process and show you a bit about the lighting and how we use that macro lens that I've rented for the weekend and the results that we get from it. My sister here, Erin, say hi.
Hi.
She's an amazing artist and I'm going to post her Instagram just right here. You go check it out, see some of her work. It's really amazing, and she's going to do it's a digital drawing, isn't it? A digital drawing for us today, and that's kind of going to be the topic of what we're shooting. So yeah, hope you enjoy. So it's going to just be pretty much same again. You're just going to come in, you're going to put the coffee down, pick up the iPad, and then sit back down. All right? Okay, on you go. See that walk you need to do? So that ninja walk. Right, cool. So as you've seen from the video, I decided to rent the Sony 90mm macro lens. This is something I've had my eyes on for a little while, and I thought, why not rent it this weekend, try it out on a shoot, and I can decide whether or not I want to make that purchase at some point in the future. This can be useful for anybody, not just somebody who's wanting to purchase a little bit of new camera gear, but if you have a specific shoot coming up and you know that you're going to need a specific bit of gear that fits that purpose, then look into renting it. You'd be surprised what kind of things you can get from like a local rental house and how easy it is to just pick something up, use it and then return it the next day or over the weekend or whatever. Not only is this a good way of testing out new camera gear, but it also teaches you some things. So before this weekend, I'd never used a 90mm macro lens. I'd never actually used a proper macro lens before, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. When I used it, I actually learned a few things. So I've only had this lens for about a day prior to this, so I've not really had much chance to try it out, but from what I have seen, there's a few things you've got to keep in mind with it. First of all is, yes, it does have in-body stabilization, but I would think that if you're going to get some really close shots, some really detailed shots, you're going to want to use a tripod just to make sure that you get any shake out of it whatsoever. And also if you're right down at like f2.8, your focus plane is so shallow that you just really want that stabilization, and then you probably want to move the thing that you're filming into focus instead of trying to move the camera in any way to catch the focus. So yeah, use a tripod. And another thing is that you really do want a lot of light to get the detail in these things. So of course we've got our big key light up here that's shining on Erin and it's kind of lighting up the whole scene. But I'm also going to use my Aperture MC and just sort of use it handheld, maybe put it on a little light stand, nice and close to the subject that we're filming, just so that we can pick up as much detail as possible. So as you can see here, we've got the macro lens set up on a tripod, and we're going to get a really detailed shot of the Apple Pencil going across the iPad. Now, we really need a lot of light here, so I'm going to use the Aperture MC just to add a little bit more light in the same direction from our key light, and that should allow us to get a really nice detailed shot. Okay, so if you look a bit closer actually at the pen. Pretty cool. Now, I mean, if I ever go to a shoot and the person says to me, the client says to me, hey, we want you to do some macro shots, here's a macro lens, can you get some close-up shots? Or they say, can you rent a macro lens for this specific shoot? I now know from renting it over the weekend kind of what to look for and how to use the lens and how not to use the lens. So yeah, if you're wanting to get some experience with a bit of gear that you've not yet managed to get your hands on, then I would definitely consider renting it and just learning the ins and outs of that bit of equipment so that you can kind of improve your skill set and hopefully improve your videos. To give you a little bit more of an idea of how much I actually spent and what the process was like, is basically I booked for the lens, let's say it was Tuesday, for a weekend slot, so I picked the Saturday. Now, for my rental house anyway, the one that I used, that meant that I was able to pick up the lens on Friday. I then was renting it for the Saturday, the full day. The rental house is actually shut on Sunday, so you can't return it on the Sunday, so therefore you're expected to return it on the Monday. So really you're paying a day rate, you end up with it on the Friday afternoon, you have it the whole Saturday, you have it the whole Sunday, and then you might have it Friday morning until you need to bring it back in the afternoon. And I was only paying I think it was £25 for that for the whole weekend, and that's for like an £1,000 plus lens. So you can see like how beneficial that is, you know, saves you having to buy an £1,000 lens if you really need that kind of specific shot. And what did I end up finding out? I ended up finding out that I really liked the lens. I think the lens is great, and I could really see myself having one of these, but I'm not going to buy one just now. I don't think I would get as much use out of it as I thought I would initially, and you know, I could have just jumped in and made that purchase, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I tested it out first, and although I like the lens, it's not something that I'm actually going to pick up. So obviously I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm sure you guys know about renting camera equipment. I'm sure you've probably done it before, but if not, then yeah, it's something that you should consider. I'm actually considering now, like, maybe what should I get next, you know? Maybe a wide angle lens or something a little bit more fancy, like a crazy like 400mm lens or something like that. It could make for some interesting content, if nothing else. How did you find it?
Weird being on camera, but fun.
Good. That's us finished. Thanks very much again to Erin for letting us into her lovely flat to film this part. Can you see? Yeah. And I'm going to put her Instagram, like I said, on screen and in the description, so definitely go check out her work. Say bye.
Bye.
I just want to say thanks very much to my sister for letting me come into her flat and completely wreck it and rearrange it, just so we could shoot this little sequence. She's an amazing artist, and I thought capturing her doing one of her digital drawings would be a really good opportunity to use this lens. And also I wanted to test out my new lighting, which I talked about in my last video. So for her to get involved in this and give me that opportunity was really great of her, and hopefully you enjoyed the little short video that came out of that. So to sum that all up, rent some camera gear if you want to test out some new products. Definitely look into see if you can get a weekend rate, and you might get it a little bit longer than you paid for. And it's sure as hell better than buying a bit of camera gear that you end up regretting and then you have to sell it again because it's not quite what you wanted it to be. Anyway, that's all I wanted to tell you guys. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving it a like. That does help push the channel out a little bit. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. Let me know if you've ever done this before, what you rented, how your experience ended up being with that rented bit of kit, and maybe if you're considering renting something now. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I really badly need a shave.